Hello and welcome to Yoga with Brenda. My name is Brenda and today we're going to be working pose headstand. So have your blocks ready and your strap. When you're ready, meet me on the mat. So now we're reaching our peak pose, which is the tripod headstand. We're going to be using the blocks and the strap. We're going to start now practicing our headstand, and today we're going to be working on the tripod headstand or Sirsasana B. Basically, your Sirsasana B or your tripod is like your mountain pose, your Tadasana, with your chaturanga arms. But instead of keeping your elbows touching your ribs, we bring your elbows aligned with your shoulders. So let's get to practice first from a standing position. Bring the base of your toes touching. Leave a little gap between your heels so your legs are in neutral position, so your kneecap is pointing forward. From here, squeeze your kneecaps, lifting the kneecaps up, activating your quads. Now we go towards the pelvis. You don't want your bum out or pelvis forward. You want to keep your pelvis in neutral. The way we do it is hugging your inner thighs towards each other and compensating, activating your outer glutes. That way all this area is in neutral and active. Now we go for the core, navel in and up, activating also your pelvic floor and close the ribs. Bring your elbows towards your ribs with your middle finger or index pointing up towards the ceiling. This squeezing action, the same as in your low plank or chaturanga, is going to activating your shoulder girdles. All these muscles are in here and here, just to help stabilize the shoulders. So think that when you are upside down, you don't want to dump all the weight on your neck. You're pushing through your hands, trying to distribute your weight, and it's not everything on your neck. So squeeze your elbows towards your ribs, and from here, lifting up. So this is your tripod headstand. So you want your wrist aligned with the elbow, elbow aligned with your shoulder. You don't want the elbows to splay out because this breaks the stability on your shoulder. The way we can use our props to help you with this is making a loop with your strap and bringing your strap above the elbow. So this is gonna help us keep the elbow in line with your shoulders and not opening. Like this. Now we're gonna use the blocks. So the blocks are gonna be supporting gently our shoulders. So we're gonna bring the blocks down to the ground, to the highest setting. So bear in mind that if your arm is longer, you might need to add a little book underneath the block or something. Basically, what you want to do is to keep your 90 degrees with the arms. So bring the blocks, use the strap, and now bring your hands down to the ground. Start gripping them out with your fingertips and root the knuckles down. Bring your top of the head down to the ground, the flat part of the head, down to the floor. And start finding your 90 degrees on your arms. So make sure your wrist is on top of your elbow, elbow in line with your shoulder. We're going to start pushing through your hands like if you were trying to lift your head off the ground without lifting it. Now bring your knees off the ground and walk forward. We're going to start first bringing one knee towards your elbow or your tricep and then the other one. If you want to stay here, feel free to stay here and work on muscle activation. So keep pushing through your hands to keep your head light as you can without lifting it from the ground. And now when you're ready, let's just gonna use the core and the power of pushing through your hands to lift your hips on top of your shoulders. We're gonna bring your legs towards the wall. Extend the legs. One leg is going to stay touching the wall and the other one is going to be away from the wall. And now is where we're going to be playing to find our neutral line. So bring your hip towards the wall and away from the wall, and play within these two extremes to find that sweet spot where the balance feels soft and gentle. So basically is that point where opposite forces nullify each other. You can still stay with your other leg supporting on the wall, and when you're ready, if you're ready, start playing on bringing your other leg off the wall. At some point you will bring your legs together and then we will try to find our midline. Pointed toes, legs active, kneecap up, inner thighs, outer glutes, core, closing ribs. Slowly, we're going to bring one knee towards your chest. Go down until you're floating down to the floor. So in any variation of your headstand, you need to keep all the muscles active from the moment where you start pushing through your hands until the last moment where your feet are floating down to the ground. Don't relax the muscles at the last minute, because then everything will collapse down towards your neck, and that is unwanted pressure that we don't want on our necks. So once you're comfortable with the wall, your blocks, your strap, try to get rid of one of the props. For example, get rid of the strap. When you're not using the strap, try to keep hugging your elbows towards each other, and like if you were in chaturanga, and push against the ground. Yeah. The next step will be to get rid of the blocks. Just make sure that first you're capable of muscle activation around this area, and then you will not need the blocks. The last step will be to move away from the wall. So this is your tripod headstand practice. Feel free to pause the video here, keep practicing. Maybe you feel that you don't need the strap, or you don't need the blocks, or even the wall. Just make sure that you are safe and comfortable in the pose, so you have control over the pose. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.